Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And we're here to review Supergirl, Season 3, Episode 9, Rain. If you haven't seen this episode, you might want to come back later because there will be spoilers.
Supergirl traces the origin of a mysterious symbol to an ancient prophecy and the mark of the world killer Rain.
Okay, since these are all of the mid-season finales for all the CW shows, we decided to take these separately and, review each of these episodes separately, just like the crossover. And when we come to DC TV Recap at the end of this week, we're going to be answering some of your best questions across the episodes. So anytime during this review, you want to go down to the comments, leave us a great question. We'll answer it in the DC TV Recap video, and some of the best ones might get a prize or two. I'm just saying, throw it out there.
That.
All right, so we start out this episode with, of course, Samantha having some crazy dreams. She's sleeping in, and then she says it's always time for pancake o'clock.
My first note is Sam and Ruby are the worst.
Yeah, okay, so we've been building to this. This episode is called Rain. Nothing about Samantha, we're 9 episodes in, nothing about Samantha has worked, nothing about Ruby has worked.
No.
They built this whole villain around the idea that we are going to see the evolution of a big bad. But to be honest with you, what we saw in the last episode of Supergirl, where she saw the sandy Krypton Fortress of Solitude, whatever the hell that thing is, and sort of, got her stuff. You could have done that in 1 episode. I didn't need 6 episodes.
2 episodes max.
Of terrible character building.
And this BS that her and Lena and Kara are all supposed to be best friends. Also, I want to say in this episode, Ruby got a real glow up. Like, she looks like a 15-year-old girl. She's got beautiful makeup on. She's wearing a bra for the first time, which is great. And it's weirdly inconsistent that she's still behaving like she's 8. Like, there's a scene later where Sam is, like, holding her and, like, cradling her, but she's, like, a grown woman in this episode. It's very strange, the treatment of this character. Very strange.
Another thing that is very strange is we have to guess that, when does the crossover take place in Supergirl time?
Who knows?
Because this episode kind of follows along pretty close to the episode that was right before the crossover.
This is a problem that Supergirl has had, even with just their Flash crossovers. And yes, don't tweet me that some of them happen inside people's brains and stuff, but in the Supergirl timeline, they never acknowledge that this stuff happens, whereas traditionally in the other shows, they're like,
yeah, they do.
Oh, hey, remember that time that we fought the Dominators or whatever? I don't know. I guess it happened an hour ago, maybe?
We gotta say we get some Mon-El talking about stuff. Mon-El says that they call their group in the future the Legion.
Hell yeah.
Wynn calls the group the Legion of Superheroes. I cheered because this is Imra, of course, of the Legion of Superheroes. Now, Mon-El founding the Legion does happen in certain origins of the Legion, so I'm totally okay with that, and I like that they're basing their heroic charter around Supergirl instead of Superman. I also like that as well. But we gotta talk about Mon-El in this scene.
Can I build on that? This scene is great on paper.
Yes.
Mon-El sounds like he's trying to talk to the dude at the DMV.
Yeah.
Like he could give a flying whatever.
I wrote down one of Mon-El's lines.
Go for it. Give us a line.
So Kara, during this scene, at the very end of it, it says like, "Oh, we're having a Christmas party. Do you want to come?" So Kara, please invite me to the Christmas party. I will give you the exact line that that Mon-El gives, and I will give it to you and how he does it, how this actor is.
So we're having a Christmas party, and you're welcome to come if you like.
Thanks, but we have to work on repairs.
Yeah, that's pretty much how he reads all of his lines.
And that
I know that you're Melissa Benoist's boyfriend, but you could try to earn your paycheck. Like, come on.
Well, the problem that I have with it is that this should be a triumphant scene for anybody that's been watching Supergirl since season 1. We have heard teases, we have heard hints of this, and finally we say it out loud. Legion of Superheroes. Here it is. Ta-da!
I mean, Legion has been teased since before Supergirl existed. It was teased in Flash. You know.
So to have the actor that is responsible for this giant exposition dump is just like, yeah, we're called the Legion.
Who also is playing a really important DC Comics character. And it's not like we haven't had actors undergo huge character growth between seasons. I would hold up Alex Danvers became a really great character starting in the like Mon-El could have
Well, the craziest...
This could have been good because this is cool.
The craziest thing about this is that we have seen Mon-El give better performances than what we saw in this episode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
saying something.
Which is kind of shocking that he took a step down.
Yeah, he grew a beard and became less good. Barry Allen grew a beard and became more good.
Yeah, it's weird. So I just thought I was really bothered by that because we've been waiting for this moment and it was so flat. I thought Carl Lumbly at the Christmas party, because of course it's a CW show, we have to have our cheesy Christmas party with so many songs. The Brown Liquid, what is a sequel? Carl Lumbly was great.
I wrote, this brown liquid is vastly superior, which is like...
To cafe, as he says it, cafe.
So I unequivocally hate the Christmas episodes. Every year, they suck. This was the best use of a Christmas scene because the Martians... more Martian family time, please. They were so wonderful. And John, like, yes, we're going to teach Dad about Christmas. Like, I was all in for that. And then I didn't need Mon-El. I didn't need the sadness.
John Jones in this scene did perform a little bit of a faux pas that I thought was really kind of stretched the logic of the universe. He walks over to Kara during Kara and Samantha's like, we're best friends. Thank God they didn't start coming to super best friend. Didn't do that song. But David Harwood, like, Lena's right here. And he goes, excuse me, Lena. Supergirl. He doesn't say Supergirl. It's like, we gotta go. And it's like, wait a minute. Wouldn't Lena be like, where are you going? And also, why is the head of this fictional alien organization asking you, a reporter for the Catco magazine, to go with him?
Because nobody knows that she works for the DEO.
I know I'll go with it, but I was like, Jesus, John, like, you're a secret agent, man.
I have one more thing to say about this scene. There's a really dumb moment where Sam and Kara and Lena are all together, and they're like, we're best friends.
Even though I've only known you for 5 episodes.
And Win is like 5 feet away. Is Win not Kara's best friend anymore?
Not anymore.
He made her costume.
Nope, not anymore.
They're supposed to be best friends.
Nope.
And I was so sad.
She found out he was the son of the Toy Man and said, screw you, sucker.
I was so sad for him in that moment. And I was sad for me that I had to listen to that dialogue.
I want to ask you, we finally get the reveal, or we get to see in full, the Rain Kryptonian symbol. It's a skull inside the little triangle, the triangle shield. I don't like it. Now, when I first saw the picture of her costume, I couldn't tell that it was a skull. I thought it was just like another Kryptonian symbol, and we would learn. But in this episode, we see it multiple places, burned all these places. It's a skull.
Yeah.
And that seems ridiculous to me.
It's a little on the nose. I don't love it. I also don't need, since she's not like in the comics really, or in this continuity, a traditional Kryptonian, I don't need her to wear a shield.
Sure.
Like.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the more. Another thing that was great was bringing back, we hear about some of the Kryptonian Low, like they were called Kryptonian Low. I couldn't remember the Low speech and the history lesson from Erica Durance, and like anytime we get to hear the history of Krypton,
I knew you were gonna be excited.
This show really has built upon some areas of Krypton that we don't usually get to hear about, even in the comic books. So I really like that. And of course, anytime we shout out to the Superman the movie, the 28 Known Galaxies, that is great. I have another nitpick about this episode. What the hell is up with Morgan Edge's hair in this episode?
Man, he got a haircut and didn't tell nobody.
It was like he walked out of his bed and walked on the set and nobody said anything.
He's got that doofus Macklemore haircut. And yeah, nobody brushed his hair. He didn't get no last looks.
All over the place. Yeah, who was doing last looks? Oh my God. But we got to talk.
He's great though.
He's a great actor. And we got to talk about another thing. Chad Lowe coming back as the preacher, the Church of Rao, and basically telling Kara all about the prophecy.
I hope he shows up like every 5 episodes just as conspiracy theory dude. He's great.
I really do that. And I like the idea that he was like, I collected all these artifacts. I met another Kryptonian from Fort Ross. Nice shout back to season 1 of Supergirl, which I thought was really cool. But then I gotta give, for every good thing this episode gave me, it gave me a bad thing. We then learned that Ruby is a glutton because she ate all the chips in the kitchen on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, this is the scene where her mom cuddles with her, and you're like, she walks in, she's really whiny.
She's like, Mom, are we gonna go to dinner? I've eaten every bag of chips in the kitchen. And I'm like, why are you a pig?
Also, Ruby's like 100,000 years old. Why does she have to come to your office? Like, leave her alone, and then maybe she'll die and the show will get better.
Look, we also know, here's the craziest thing about this. Samantha is the CFO of L Corp. She is not working on Christmas Eve.
Oh, hell no. She's not working that whole week.
She works more than any CEO in the history of CEOs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the peons that are working, you know. There's also the scene did give us a nice reference to the first time, or it might not be the first time, Earth 39 has a central city.
Yeah, yes, okay, yeah, that was cool because we don't know a lot about the geography of this Earth. We know Opal City exists here. Yep. We also know Opal City exists on Earth Prime. Or whatever it's called. And it's cool to see in a post-crossover because we hammered on that so hard that the cities do exist here as well.
It's nice. It's a nice little connection because seeing those connections are nice. We saw a bit of that in the Crisis on Earth X crossover, so it's nice to get a little bit more here. Imra, I gotta talk about her. And I might be saying her name wrong because again, I have not heard this name.
That's how they say it on the show.
Saturn Girl, basically. Look, this actress has a great look, and I'm certain she's a good actress, but I had a problem with a lot of her dialogue because she seemed to have no confidence in any of her line deliveries. She was very whispery, and especially the scene between her and Kara in the side hallway where she was just like, I know that you and Mon-El were together. And I was like, what? Where did the director...
I don't think she got any direction.
...give you this idea to be like, that's the way to play this character? Because... You know, I just don't know. I don't know where they're going with this.
She makes me sad. More than Mon-El makes me sad. And I hope that if we get more Legionnaires, they're better. Because Saturn Girl's my favorite Legionnaire.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's...
What Brainiac 5 was.
Well, she's my favorite girl Legion. I do love
Saturn Girl
Brainiac
is a
5.
very important character in DC
She
Universe.
is, and I don't think she was great in this episode. I feel like she's trying to play like I'm really funny. But it doesn't work for the character and it doesn't work for the tone of the show.
Yeah.
And then the scene where they just smear rib sauce on her face is frankly disgusting. So I didn't love it. Didn't love it.
We also got to talk about something that was bad in this episode. The editing was bad several times in this episode because there was the Rain fight in the docks, and they were trying to do this thing where they were trying to hide Rain.
I think they were just trying to give people a seizure because it was shot like a Pokemon
Well, it was shaky cam. The cuts were so quick that it was nearly impossible to tell which of these dudes she was killing, which of these dudes, in what order. And the problem is that this is not going to be the only time we talk about the editing, and I want to save it. The in-fight had the exact same problem. We're going to get to it.
Yeah.
Ashley, I want to ask you, what do you think about Rain's super suit?
I think her mask is really pretty.
Sure, for a BDSM model.
Yeah, it's not great for a superhero. I don't know. It's a black suit with no characteristic and a stupid shield. And you said this. Why does she have lipstick on?
She has black. So here, okay, so this is the problem. I think her super suit looks ridiculous. I think the fact that Rain has a super suit is ridiculous because they are treating this like when she gets, because she sees the picture of Morgan Edge, and they do this close up on her, and she goes,
"He doesn't deserve to live."
Yeah, but then the head turn, and it's like she's transforming into the anger.
Lena hears, and it's just like, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Go for it.
But it's like she's transforming into a Hulk. Now, in this transformation of the Hulk, usually when that stuff happens, or you go into other personalities, most typically in stories, it's that you become uncontrollable or you transform into the monster. This happened with Doomsday in season 7 of Smallville. This happens with the Hulk. Our character in this show goes cuckoo crazy, decides who's the kill, then goes home, puts on a suit, puts on black makeup,
and
puts on a
ponytail.
thing, and does her hair, and then goes to kill the person.
Yeah.
That is campy and ridiculous.
I will tell you this though, her mask made me believe that we might see that Kyle Rayner crap mask someday, because apparently we can do anything we want.
But the biggest problem with that mask is that it's basically a bunch of strings, and you can tell it's Samantha.
Yeah.
It does not hide her identity.
No.
And I know we're on a show where
Kara doesn't even wear a mask.
Kara has glasses. I know that, but the glasses thing is something that has been established and kept since the 1930s. So I will give you that one because it is an invention of the 1930s. This mask is an invention of 2017.
Yeah.
It does not work, and so I will not give it the same pass that I think that, and her voice is silly too.
Yeah,
I hate everything about this character.
They literally just took the modulation on the Flash voice when Barry's vibrating really fast and put it on her.
You know,
and it's less effective here because she's not a speedster.
Yeah, and now I look forward to all your comments where you're like, well, if you hate it, why are you reviewing? Guys, I look forward to deleting them later because they won't be there, and I hope you enjoy your time there. But this is part of a review. We talk about stuff that we like, and we have to be fair and critical. And to be honest with you, I'm very scared about this because I was really hoping that we were going to get a great season of Supergirl, but we're halfway through the season. Everything with Reign is terrible.
Everything that is not with
Except
Martian
the
Manhunter.
Yeah.
I think she's a good actress.
Yes.
I just think she's got nothing to do and a lot of bad direction. I do. Can I talk about something I do like in this episode?
Please do. Let's get out of the doldrums.
I got a new Supergirl ship, and I guess it would be called Gina. Jimmy and Lena finally. No, that's horrible. That's
by the way,
horrible.
Remember, and if you watch our DC TV recaps, called it.
You did, yeah. But we actually get confirmation of it. They finally kiss. I really like it, and this to me, even though we get like a little throwback to the Guardian, which I don't love, this is giving Jimmy something to play and something to
it's
do.
Fine. We did see Guardian in the crossover. So.
Well, yeah. For 30 seconds.
And he was killed, and that was a good thing.
He was, yeah. No more Guardian, please. Yep. But I never liked Jimmy as Kara's love interest, but I think with Lena it really works. And I also think from the meta-narrative point of like, oh, Jimmy and a Luthor is really interesting. So I liked seeing that play out in this episode a lot.
I will also give you another good thing. Supergirl crashing into the sidewalk at the very end was a great moment.
Yeah.
But everything leading up to that moment was, again, the choppy editing, shaky cam. It was so hard. This should have been an amazingly huge fight, but it came off as like, oh, one of these actresses didn't have time to rehearse, or one of these stunt doubles didn't have time to rehearse.
Or I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Reign had a stunt double at the time that this episode. Supergirl obviously has a stunt double, if not 2 or 3. I think Reign didn't have one, and so they were trying their damnedest with an actress who was also probably trying very hard, but obviously isn't a stunt woman.
Yeah, totally. And then our final scene, let's just hope Reign kills Ruby. Let's move straight into the rating based on a scale of 1 to 5. Ashley, what would you give this episode of Supergirl?
I think Reign is a not good episode of Supergirl with a couple accidentally pretty good scenes in it. God bless Carl Lumley too. Definitely not the worst episode of Supergirl, but not a very good one. How about you? What are you going to give this Christmas episode?
I agree with you. There are some great moments in this episode, but good God, this scares me for the rest of the season because Reign is terrible, and they have built their whole season around Reign, and it's really worrying me. So this is I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. This was a terrible episode of Supergirl. This was a terrible way to leave us in the finale.
Yes.
And this also scares me that none of these CW shows can beat the 3rd season curse. This is a 2 out of 5 episode of Supergirl. Let's go straight into our predictions very quickly, Ashley. Based on this episode, where do you see the next half of the season going?
So I've already predicted that Ruby's gonna be Alex's daughter. Alex is gonna adopt her. I think really we had an entire scene with them together. I think that is cemented. Yep. I also think that we are going to see Mon-El and Saturn Girl break up by the end of this season.
Interesting.
Because I don't think you would spend this much time sort of rehashing his connection with Kara to not have that payoff with a kiss or an interaction that's going to break apart this marriage. And that's going to be bad. How about you? What do you think is coming down the pipe for Supergirl?
I have 2 predictions. One really quick is I think Brainiac 5 is going to be the one that comes and rescues them. I think that's how we're going to get back to the Legion. But I also think that Reign is going to set up that the finale of this season, I think their cliffhanger is going to be a death of Supergirl.
Yeah. And Mon-El or Cal is going to come out.
Yes, and we're going to do the comic booky thing where it's that cover with her cape across it, and I think we might not do exactly Reign of the Supermen, but I think we're gonna start next season kind of like Arrow season 5, where it's like these other vigilantes.
Can we bring back Bizarro Girl because she was so good? She was like one of the best parts of season 1.
Why not?
Bring back Bizarro Girl.
So I think we're gonna end this season with everybody thinking Kara's dead.
I'd be down.
That's where I think we're gonna go because otherwise I don't see the whole point of Reign.
I agree.
So there you go. All right, so go down in the comments and tell us what you want us to talk about this Friday, and then while you're down there, click subscribe.
And why not click on one of the videos popping up on your screen? And for more exclusive geeky content, go to patreon.com/Jawiin.
Stick around the channel. We're gonna have reviews of Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow. See you around, super friends.